Welcome back to Lenz Comic Corner, Classic Lesson Known Classics. This episode number 2979 and Doubleshot number 2873. First, I'm discussing issues of the short-lived series Damage. I had previously discussed issues in this series already, thanks to there was a crossover Titans I had discussed. It's first of two crossovers, which covered issues 6, 7, and issue 0, along with another crossover they did, which also involved another crossover. So basically, here we're discussing, now we're kind of discussing the first 12 issues of the series, but we are skipping off, like I mentioned, 6, 7, and 0. Now, the first 5 issues is a loose connected story arc. It's basically about Grant Emerson. That's our main character. The series is written by Tom Joyner, art by Bill Moore. Basically, he's this teenage kid who's got mysterious powers. He, of course, is causing damage. This feels like the start of a solo series with his first story arc. And he's going to be confused. There's a girl who supposedly likes him, kind of basically pushes her away. Now, of course, there's a whole thing with Iron Morrow, basically, with this issues here, where it was suggested he was basically, because here's the thing, Grant Emerson in this book is adopted. That's who Damage is running with, Grant Emerson. So, he thinks Iron Morrow's father really is, and is actually somebody else, which I'll reveal that at the end, when I finish up with the issues. So, basically his power is his fist. It's like basically DC's take on Iron Fist, except involving chi. It's basically all about nuclear energy, and of course he's wearing his costume on the first page here. And we have basically his parents, obviously, we have recurring characters in this series. His powers are out of control, to the point where the federal government basically have to step in and send the Titans and deal with him in issue 5. And that's kind of the first opening 5 issue of the series. What I just brought up, that's a preview of what happened there. And then we have issues 8 through 12, another 5-part story arc known as Fractures. Basically, it's more of the character. The first 4 issues are set between, I think, like 118 and 119 of New Titans. Which, of course, basically, the first issue of this book, it's him no longer after he joins the New Titans, which is part of a court mandate he joined the Titans because of all the damage it caused in the state of Georgia. Where, basically, he is banned from the state of Georgia because all damage he did, which basically, it's not entirely his fault because he did not control his powers. So I guess the state of Georgia basically banned for that. The final issue, of course, basically has him go into space. Iron Morrow, who is a distant relative of the Baron Blitzkrieg, old World War II villain who debuted in All-Star Squadron, who was a recurring bad guy for the All-Star Squadron in their book. I think it was debuted in issue 3. I think he did. Yes, it was issue 3. And Iron Morrow he had a backup feature in the book, which was only in these issues in particular, which is basically his stuff. Let's go alongside what Damage is up to. And it's pretty much the issues in a nutshell. Interesting set of issues. Nothing bad here. The artwork is actually surprisingly really good. Now, I know that around this period of time, nowadays, from nostalgia purposes, when people look back at the artwork at this period of time, the problem some people have with the artwork from around early 1991 to about 95, the first half of the 90s, a lot of the artwork the reception for it nowadays is very, very mixed. I'm sure back then it was very popular, people loved this artwork, but nowadays it is just getting very mixed reception, mostly negative. People think his artwork is awful. I know Linkar himself is not a big fan of some 90s artwork because he kind of grew up in it. But I think the artwork book is actually really good. The writing here is pretty good. I'm going to give these issues roughly a 9 out of 10. Oh, in case you're curious about how long the series is, the series is surprisingly 20 issues. Yep. So, next up we have is the second trade for All New Atom. which collects issues 7 through 11. Okay, the name of this trade is called Future/Past. And most of we'll continue the whole Ryan Choice stuff with this book. And of course, the issues are written by Gail Simone. Mostly put the whole Future Past thing is basically going through traveling. Of course, they first deal with the guy called Dwarf Star, Dwarf Star is a serial killer who was in the first the first 5 issues of this book. Basically, we have 2 story arcs here. First is The Man Who Swallowed Eternity. Also, we continue the whole thing with basically having Dean Mayland. Dean Mayland is an antagonist for Roy Cheadle. He's here as a recurring. He's only here for this opening issue, and then he disappears for a little bit, comes back for a few more issues, and that was it for him. We also return of Doris Zoll, aka Giganta, who asks basically Roy Cheadle or Troy on a date. She has returned again for a little while in the book. Yeah. So she's back here for this issue, and then you'll see her again until like issue 17. Yep, that's when you see her again. Of course, Ryan himself does go on a date in these issues. Yes, he goes on a date a little later on. The whole thing with... they had this guy called Teddy Hyatt, who was a character from the original Adam stories that Gail Simone brought back to the series. This, of course, was first time featured since... I think this is... What was Jonathan as Adam? No, not that one. I think the last time he had been featured... Let's see. It may have been the feature in Action Comics. Or was it Detective? I know it had been a while. Yes. So yeah, I think it may have been his action feature, last series feature, but yeah, he's back here as well, he pops up here for 2 issues, and then his whole thing is that he's split in half by a person from the future, known as Riot the Rogue, and basically, in a way, this guy claimed to be the original one's son, but in actuality, he really isn't. So he is just the original character de-aged, who thinks he's the son, but actually isn't. Eventually, they return back normal, and he goes back to Tyler home. My guess is Gelson will probably feature him in here. Probably as a favor to an editor. And then we have the JLA stuff here. It's going to be the Jaya saga. Jaya is Lady Kronos. Yes. Yeah, and she actually... In this story, she dated Ryan. Yeah, she dated Ryan throughout these issues. Oh, by the way, his father... Here's the thing about Mr. Choi, Ryan's father. He doesn't really appear for much. He appears for the opening story arc And then at issue 11, he's never seen again in comics. You could say issue 11 is his final appearance. I like the whole date thing, and of course they go to Hong Kong in issue 11. And that's pretty much it for this one. You have Eddie Burrows himself on the artwork. I think I met Eddie Burrows. Because remember him working on some issues of Detective. Yeah, he worked on some Detective comic issues. I love the guy's artwork. So I really enjoyed the issues they have here. Now, it's not him, it's Eddie Berganza, basically. I've heard very terrible things about the man. Who's Eddie Berganza, might ask? Eddie Berganza was an artist who sexually harassed female staff members of DC Comics. And he received no punishment for it. At all. He'd be a good artist, but that does not give him a reason for sexually harass his co-workers. Yeah. But still great books overall. I'll give these issues here a 9 out of 10. We have only about 14 more stuff to go for this book. And, not much else after that. No, not really. Yeah, that's the interesting thing when it comes to this book here. Because All New Adam was the final ever self-titled ongoing series ever released for the Atom. Of course, Ray Palmer did have a return as a backup feature for Action Comics briefly, also having the series of one-shots, which I think I covered one of them already. But Ray Palmer's almost done. But I think after this book, basically, we're done with the Atom. Plus, of course, the Giants Nest book. But yeah, that's pretty much a particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do the like button. Yep. So when I come back to do damage, it will be the rest of the series. I will effectively get it done. And I can move on to something else with that one. Yep. But, yeah. Next video is going to be the 7 Deadly Sins. Okay, next video. Bye.